right? So in today's session, we will be understanding what are the different forms of power sharing, right? So when we say forms of power sharing, to understand this, it is very important to understand that for a long time, it was believed that all the power of a government must reside in one person or group of persons located at one place, right? And it was also felt that if the power to decide is dispersed between various people or between different people, it would not be possible to take quick decisions and to enforce them, right? But these notions have changed with the emergence of democracy, right? Now, in democracy, all the powers mainly lies or are vested with the people, right? So, in a democracy, people rule themselves through institutions of self-government. That means people choose their representatives who form the government and rule over them, right? So in a good democratic government, due respect is given to the diverse groups and views that exist in the society, because we live in a community with various different groups, right? Different groups of people. So it is very important to give importance to all the groups that are present in our society. So in modern democracies, power sharing arrangement can take many forms. So we will see what are the different forms of power sharing that we are going to discuss today. So power is shared among different organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. Then we will be discussing all these in detail, just having a glimpse over it, right? Then power is shared among the government at different levels, like the central government, state government, and the local self-governing bodies. Power is also shared among different social groups. It can be religious or linguistic groups. Then power sharing arrangements can also be in the form of political parties, pressure groups, and movements, right? So moving on to the first arrangement, that is the organs of the government. Now, when we say organs of the government, the power is divided into legislative, executive, and judiciary. This arrangement is also termed as the horizontal distribution of power because each element is placed at the same level, right? So so this kind of distribution is termed as the horizontal distribution of power, as it allows different organs of the government placed at the same level to exercise different powers. Such separation ensures that none of the organs can exercise unlimited power. So that means each organ keeps a check on the functioning of the other organ, right? So this results in the balance of power among various institutions, right? So that means the government cannot function in a way where it is not good for the people. It has to be it has to function for the betterment of the people and society. So each organ keeps a check over the other. Now, although the judges are appointed by the executive, they can check the functioning of the executive or laws made by the legislature, right? But at the same time, the judiciary is independent of any influence from the executive or the legislature. That means no political influence is there on judiciary, so that it can provide justice without any kind of biasness, right? So this whole arrangement is termed as the horizontal distribution of power. Now moving on to the next part, that is the next arrangement, which is power can be shared among government at different levels. Now here we are talking about the different levels. That means a general government for the entire country and government at the provincial or regional levels. That means there will be one central government that will be taking care of the whole country as one, and then there will be the provincial governments or the state governments that will look after the matters specific to their own states, right? So such a general government for the entire country is usually called as federal government. But in India, we call it as the central or the union government. Okay? So the government at the provincial or the regional levels are called by different names in different countries. In India, we call them as the state government. Now, this system is not followed in all the countries. There are many countries where there are no provincial governments. That means there may or may not be the state governments as we have in our country, right? But in those countries like ours, where there are different levels of government, the constitution clearly lays down the powers of the different levels of the government. Like we have in our country, right, the constitution that guides all the organs how to function. We have already seen the how the constitution was changed in Belgium 4 times, right? So, and we have also seen the majoritarian policies followed by Sri Lanka, where it refused to provide equal opportunities to all the people in the society, that ended in the civil war, right? So there is a lot of difference between the democratic setup and the non-democratic setup. We have already studied about it with the two cases studies. One was the Belgium and the other one was the Sri Lanka. Now this is called the sorry, federal division of power, where power is not confined to one level but is distributed to different levels of the government. So the same principle can be extended to the levels of the government lower than the state. So we have the local self-governing bodies. We can also term them as municipalities or the panchayats. Right. Now moving on to the next level or the next form, which is power may also be shared among the different social groups, such as the religious and linguistic groups. So we have already seen this kind of division in Belgium, where they had the community government, right? So that's a very good example to understand this kind of arrangement, where they had the community government with the representation of the people from all the communities, right? Now, in some countries, there are constitutional and legal arrangements whereby socially weaker sections and women are represented in the legislature and administration. That means reserve constituencies. I think you have studied about this last year, the reserve constituencies, right? So, in the assemblies and the parliament, right? So, this type of arrangement is meant to give space in the government and administration to diverse social groups. If we don't do that, these groups will feel alienated, like it happened in the case of Sri Lanka, where people were not given equality and opportunity, and then they had to raise their voice against it. They struggled, lot of bloodshed happened, finally led to the civil war in Sri Lanka, right? So it is very important that all the different groups that are present in our country are given equal importance. right? Moving on to the next, that is power sharing arrangements can also be in the form of political parties and pressure groups. Now, before we continue with this, I will be showing you a small video. Okay, so just hold on. 1 second. Are you able to see my screen, children?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, just a second. Now, no, one second. I will click again. Screen. Now, are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll just increase the volume and start.
Your father have just finished putting up a map of India on her bedroom wall.
Priya, what makes you look so puzzled?
Our country. There are so many states, towns and villages. How on earth does a prime minister manage all of them?
Okay, think about this. Your school has so many classes and different subjects to be taught. Your principal teach all the students in the school herself?
No, she doesn't. It's the teachers who take the classes.
And in the absence of teachers?
They appoint monitors to ensure we don't create a commotion.
Like your school's principal, the Prime Minister manages the country with the help of his government. Let's look at the three levels of administration of the Indian government. The central government is at the top, the state government is in the middle, and the local self-government is at the bottom. Now, let's have a closer look at each of them. The central government operates from New Delhi, the capital of India. The central government controls matters of national importance, such as national finance, defense, foreign exchange, railways, and postal services. The next level is the state government. Every state is governed by a government which is based in the state's capital. The state government controls state-related matters such as law and order, health services, and local transport. The local self-government works at the levels of cities, towns, and villages. Local self-governing bodies consist of representatives who are elected by people of a particular locality. The local self-government resolves the immediate local problems of our country's citizens. So you see, this is how the government functions as three levels and helps the Prime Minister manage our vast country.
Right. So you have seen how the local self-governing bodies they work. My dear children, Sohail and Sidra, you are joining now when the session is about to get over. Children, please switch on your cameras. Many of you, the cameras are off.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to see my PPT, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, right.
Yes, ma'am.
Akshita ma'am,
Yes, my dear.
my device does not have a cam today, so I cannot switch on the video.
So make sure from the next session when you join, either you join from a mobile phone or a laptop or a tab in such a way where your camera can be accessible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right. Now moving further to the last part of the today's session, which is power sharing arrangements can also be in the form of political parties, pressure groups, and movements, right? So all these control or influence the people who are already in power. When we say the political parties or pressure groups or movements, so you must have seen for any issue or any agenda that is there, different political parties, they react in a different way, right? So the reaction that comes from the different political party is different for different scenarios, right? Like how nowadays when we are all affected with the COVID-19 lockdown, in a lockdown situation, the debate, the different political parties, then the discussion happens, they all keep their points in front of the ruling party in such a way that they try to influence the decisions that are taken by the ruling party, right? But entirely depends on the ruling party. What decision is it going to take? Is it going to give importance to the suggestions that are coming from the other political parties or pressure groups or not, right? So then you see the prime minister coming and interacting with the people. Recently the prime minister was also interacting with uh, uh, the the sarpanches and all from the different parts of the country, where he was directly interacting with them as to how the things are taken care of when it comes to the protection of the people, providing them all the facilities and all. I don't know whether you have seen that session that was shown on TV or not, but he was interacting with the different chosen representatives or the elected representatives from different parts of the country. He interacted with the person who was there sitting in Assam, and also he discussed with the pros and cons in the person who was there in Gujarat, right? So not only these two states, but other states as well, so that he can come to know as to what is actually happening in different parts of the world in this lockdown situation. What are the concerns that they are coming across? Because just now in the video you have understood that these local governments, they work for the immediate causes, right? The immediate problems that are faced by the people are handled by these people at the local level. So it is really important to understand the whole setup, right? And also to understand that the political parties and pressure groups along with the movements initiated by them also influences the decision that are taken by the government, right? So in a democracy, the citizens must have the freedom to choose among various contenders for power. That means during the elections, it is the people who choose their representative. So they have various options from the different candidates. The candidate they feel is the best one, they can cast their vote for that particular candidate, right? In the contemporary democracies, this takes the form of competition among the different parties, right? That's how the different political parties compete against each other during election. They come up with different agendas, different points where they try to lure the public to come and vote for them, right? Such competitions ensure that power does not remain in one hand, right? Suppose if the people have elected a government and they are not satisfied with the functioning of that government, in the next election they can choose some other representative instead of choosing the representative from this government, right? But now we have recently seen in the election that held last year in 2019, that people have given a mandate, right, to the BJP government, where people were actually very confident about the functioning of the government, and they have re-elected Mr. Modi as the Prime Minister. Right? So, such competitions ensures that power does not remain in one hand. Now, in the long run, power is shared among different political parties that represents different ideologies and social groups. Like there can be candidates who are from different religious communities or different groups that speak different languages. So what these political parties do is they try to give the ticket to a person who belong to the majority community. Suppose there is a constituency or there is a place where the majority of the community is Hindu or Muslim or other backward class, whatever. So they try to see the popularity of a person in that particular community, maybe a person who works for the benefit of the people at his own level. They try to encash the popularity of that person by giving him the ticket to contest the election representing that means representing him from that particular party, so that people, when they know this person well, they will cast their vote to this person, and in turn the political party can win over the elections, right? So this all this setup works in such a way that the competition ensures that the power does not remain in one hand. In the long run, power is shared among the different political parties that represent different ideologies and social groups. Sometimes this kind of sharing can be direct when two or more parties form an alliance to contest the election. Like before BJP formed the government, it was the government formed by UPA. When we say UPA, we mean by it as United Progressive Alliance. That was headed by Mr. Manmohan Singh as the Prime Minister, right? So, where one particular party doesn't get the majority of the votes, the few political parties, they come together, right? And then form a government in coalition, right? That means if their alliance is elected, they form a coalition government. That means they share the power, right? So this sharing of power gives another kind of setup for the government, because here the decision taking becomes more difficult, because they have to keep in mind the consent of all the members of the alliance, so that if the alliance party or the people from the alliance party take back the support, again the government will not be in majority, right? So the decision taking process becomes lengthy and difficult when it is a coalition form of government. Whereas like the government now, when we talk about BJP, which has won the election with the majority of the vote, sorry, it becomes really easy for this kind of government to take any decision, because they don't have to actually get the consent from the alliance parties. They are already in majority, right? Definitely they are given suggestions by the different the political parties, different groups, but the decision taking power lies with the party itself, the government itself, right? So they will also share in governmental power, either through participation in governmental committees or bringing influence on decision making process, right? So with this, we come to the end of the chapter, right? We'll quickly recap. In this module, we have studied that power sharing helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups. Power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability of the political order. Power is shared among different organs of the government, which is horizontal distribution of power, because each organ is placed at the same level, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. The power is also shared among the government at the different levels, that is the union government or the central government that takes care of the whole country. Then we have the state government that looks after the particular functioning of the particular state, and we have then the panchayats and the municipalities that comes under the local self-governing bodies or the local government that take care of the immediate issues, right? So power is also shared among the different social groups. It can be religious or linguistic group, as we have seen this arrangement in the Belgium model, where there is a community government where people from different linguistic groups are included in the community government to look after the matters related to their religion and community. Then power sharing arrangement can also be in the form of political parties, pressure groups and movement that also influences the decision taken by the government, keeps a check on the functioning of the government, right? I hope the entire content is clear to everyone. Anyone has any doubt here?
Oh, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
No, ma'am.
Akshita ma'am,
1 second. Just a second, huh? I'll be now showing you a small quiz and then we will quickly clear your doubts.
yes ma'am.
Are you all able to see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Right. Now Karun has joined very late, so I want Karun to answer this question.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, both 1 and 2 are true.
Right. First read the question for me.
Consider the following two statements. Can power sharing and select the answer using the codes given below. First one, power sharing is good for democracy. Second one, it reduces the possibility of conflict between social groups. Which of
Right.
these statements are true or false?
Right. So you are saying it is both 1 and 2 are true.
Yes.
Good. So the next question is, I want Sidra to answer this question.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, A and C.
Read the question first.
Which of the following statements are correct? A. In Belgium, the Dutch community could take advantage of its numeric majority and force its will on only German-speaking population. The second one is in Sri Lanka, the Sinhala community enjoyed an even bigger majority and could impose its will on the entire country. Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Hindus, people whose forefathers came from India to Sri Lanka as plantation workers during colonial period are called Indian Tamils.
So what is your correct answer?
Ma'am, A and C.
Do you all agree with her?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Dishita, what do you say?
I don't think C is right. A is correct, and
Yes, ma'am. I think D.
yeah, A and D.
Do you
A and
think
D.
A is correct?
No, ma'am. The answer is B and D.
The answer is B and D. Moving on to the next question. I want Hafsa to read the question and give the answer.
Who is the source of all political power in democratic setup? Government?
You say government. Jheel, is she correct saying government?
No, ma'am. It is citizens.
Very good. It is citizens. Moving on to the next question. This will be answered by Shivani.
Ma'am, should I read the question?
Definitely yes. Quickly.
In modern democracies, power sharing arrangement can take many forms.
Answer please.
Ma'am, is it true?
You are asking me or you are telling me?
True.
What should I consider your answer? Quick, Shivani.
The answer is true.
Answer is true. Be confident, my dear girl. We have just discussed that. There are different forms of power sharing arrangement, isn't it? Now, next question will be answered by Sohail. Read the question.
Which of the following statements are correct? In a democracy, political power is
1 minute.
distributed.
There are still many children. Your cameras are off. Please switch on your cameras. Sidra, Varda, Nida, switch on your cameras. Tell me the correct answer.
Ma'am, D. Yes. Ma'am, C.
Shamak?
Yes, ma'am.
Is what he's saying, is it right?
C. Yes, ma'am. C is correct.
Only C is correct.
C and D.
It is A and C.
Oh.
Now this last question, Sarvajit.
Country A takes all political decisions after carefully calculating the pros and cons of that decision. What kind of decisions does it take? Prudential decisions.
Very good. It is the prudential decisions. So that's all for today's session, children. I hope the session was interactive and informative for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.